The mass of 3 large jars of salsa is same as that of 5 small jars of salsa. The total mass of 2 small jars and 1 large jar is 1,353 grams. Determine the mass of a large jar of salsa. I'm going to solve this problem visually. It's actually a fairly challenging problem. So let's see how we can represent it visually. And this part of the question is very important. So let's change the color so that we can just call it the blue sentence, okay? So the blue sentence is very crucial. So we are saying 3 large jars together have the same mass as 5 small jars. So let's see what works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 3 units to represent 1 small jar, and I'll do this as follows. This is 1 small jar. It's comprised of 3 units. Second jar, third, fourth, and I need 5 of them. 5 small jars have the same mass as 3 large jars. I'm going to take each large jar as if it's a collection of 5 identical units. My first large jar, my second large jar, my third large jar. And let's write small and large right here. Now, this is where it's actually a good idea to kind of reflect and pause a little bit. Well, now take a look. Take a look. Clearly, the way we represented 5 small jars are equivalent to 15 units, and 3 large jars are also equivalent to 15 units, and they match. So why did we choose 3 units to represent a small jar? And why did we choose 5 units to represent a large jar? So that the 2 sizes will match, and this is one of the nicest way, simplest way you can do it. Now, the question says that the total mass of 2 small jars and 1 large jar is 1,353 grams. Let's change this color to green. So 2 small jars, let's shade our 2 small jars here as follows. Let's shade them blue, and let's shade 1 large jar also blue. I'll tell you why I'm doing it. Make sure we do understand that the large jar is made of 5 small units, 5 squares. And let's also make sure that each of the 2 smaller jars is made of 3 units as well. So now read the green part of the question, and that basically tells me what I've shaded blue, 2 small jars and 1 large jar together weigh exactly 1,353 grams. So now I would like to know what's the weight of 1 little square. And by 1 little square, I mean this piece. So altogether, what I have circled in pink is basically made of 5 from the large jar and 6 from the 2 small jars, and 5 plus 6 is 11. So basically the green sentence in the question tells me that 11 squares have a mass of 1,353 grams. So one square must have a mass of and I will use my calculator. You can do it by hand if you want, and you probably should. I'm getting 123 grams. So this allows me to conclude each square is worth 123 grams, or the mass of each square is 123 grams. They want us to find the mass of a large square. A large square is comprised of or made of 5 units or 5 small squares. So what's the total mass of a large jar? That has to be 123 times 5, and that turns out to be 615. So my final answer is the mass of a large jar This is my final answer. The mass of a large jar is 615 grams.